Well, let's move on and let's talk about a movie that I think Columbia actually released. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was Warner. No, it's actually Warner Brothers, I believe, that released this movie. Jamie's going to talk to us about it. What movie is that, Jamie?
I'm going to talk about Sucker Punch. Um, I love this movie. I love this movie so much. I watched it twice in a row yesterday. I first watched the theatrical cut, and then afterwards I watched the extra long one with the extended 17 minutes. And I have to say, I like the extended cut way more because it adds to the character development. Um, I do have a little issue with this movie though, because um, I actually, I've tried to like evaluate stuff based on reality, like I try to imagine what the reality, especially in a movie like this, is. But I don't think that there's any reality at all in this movie, like literally none from the very beginning. And here's why. When the movie opens, it opens up to a stage and a curtain, and then the curtain opens and it pans in, and it's the girl sitting on the bed, Emily Browning sitting on the bed on a stage, but then it pans in and you're in her house. So my question, because obviously this movie has several different layers of unreality, my question ends up being, is any of it real? And if it's not, then why? Because I don't really understand like this idea of none of it being real and all of it being a stage. It kind of is a David Lynchian kind of thing to do. Bravo, Zack Snyder, because I mean, I'm in love with this movie because it's so hard to really break down and understand it. So I have a feeling that I'm going to have a love affair with this movie, and I'm going to be spending a long time trying to figure out the different layers of unreality in it. Um, it's obvious to me that it's a cautionary tale for women about abuse. It's a tale about how men have abused women over time, hospitals abusing their rights. I Here's another thing too. The time frame that the setting is really really confusing because it seems like it's set in like the 50s or 60s, but then the music, which I'll get to, the music makes it seem like it's a right now time because it's got modern music in it. So that also kind of confuses me and brings me out, and I'm not really sure what to make of it. But um, I think it's a kick-ass action flick, and I think that Zack Snyder's movies in general are good. I like most of his stuff. I have a copy of Watchmen because I love that movie. The extended cut of Watchmen is fantastic. Um, and I'd like to see more people appreciate his movies, especially this one in particular, which I know didn't do well at the box office, which I find to be ironic because it really is a gorgeous movie with a lot of really great action and a lot of really good acting. And the girls, knowing that all these layers of unreality are there, they did an excellent job switching from one to another. Emily Browning is awesome in it, and I always love Jenna Malone. So I'm gonna give this 4 hearts because I think it's a good watch. I think everybody should watch this movie at least once and try to get the extended cut if you can because the 17 extra minutes of it are awesome, especially for character development. It kind of explains a little more in the beginning to you about things, but still not enough to make me understand it. So 4 hearts, pick this one up, watch it. It's really good. I guarantee you'll like it. It's a lot of action for guys and girls. I like it.
Yeah, I remember liking the movie. I really like Emily Browning, and I'd forgot Jenna Malone was in it until you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
I've liked Jenna Malone ever since Donnie Darko.
Oh yeah, me too. And
Um,
Saved. I love that
yeah.
movie, Saved.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
Save. Yeah. I remember liking Sucker Punch, but having some issues with it. I don't really recall what those were off the top of my head, but I remember it looking great and having lots of great action and a bunch of kick-ass women. That's
Yeah.
never a bad thing.
I love
Lots of
that.
explosions.
I love that Bjork song in there. The remix.
Yes, yes. That's the other thing. The soundtrack is incredible. The soundtrack to this movie is incredible. I am going to buy the soundtrack now just because I absolutely fell in love with these songs.
Mm.
I would sit there, I'd listen to this every day. Every day. I love it. It's such a good soundtrack. Which it made the movie even better. I like that kind of like mixture, a little bit of different time frames, and not really. I don't like not understanding it, but I do like the mixture, like like Baz Luhrmann did with Romeo and Juliet with the modern music, but old talk. I like that.
So let's look at the soundtrack here. Track 1 is Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, a Eurythmics cover by star Emily Browning. You've got the Army of Me Sucker Punch remix, the Bjork song, featuring Skunk Anansi. Interesting. You've got these are all covers. I didn't realize these are all covers. You got a White Rabbit cover. You've got I Want It All, We Will Rock You mashup, Queen cover. Search and Destroy, the Stooges cover. You've got Tomorrow Never Knows, Where Is My Mind, Asleep, Asleep, the Smiths cover. Nice.
Oh.
Love Is the Drug, the Roxy Music cover. Oh, Carla Gugino and Oscar Isaac actually covered that one.
Yes, that's in the extended cut, though. They took that out of the theatrical cut. In the theatrical cut, it plays during the the credits, but in the extended cut, they actually have it in there as part of the movie. And I actually really enjoyed that because I really like musicals, so it fit for me. But,
cool. Yeah, so Emily Browning is actually credited on 3 different tracks.
Yeah, she sings.
Yeah, very cool.
I added it to my Netflix queue. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's a weird one because that one came out right after. That was after 300, right? Because Snyder had done the Dawn of the Dead remake. Everybody really liked the Dawn of the Dead remake. 300 was huge.
This was 2011.
Yeah, and then Sucker Punch was his follow up to that, and that one just did not do well. That one totally kind of went under the radar, and it didn't get great reviews, and it came and went pretty quick.
Dude, it had an $82 million budget. $82 million.
Zack Snyder for you.
It looks like a video game. Like, I wish this was a video game because I would play this every day if this were a video game. This would be so fun to play these characters. So anybody out there listening who develops video games, try to develop a Sucker Punch game because that would be sweet. I'd play that.
But a lot of great visuals, lots of action, stuff like that. So
yeah, I love it.